Hey gamers, the Red Dragon here from BattleStrats.com. We're going to take a look at Bad Company 2 Vietnam Conquest, start out with some general tips, and then we'll move into each map individually. So the first thing you need to remember is you only need 2 bases. Too many people get caught up in trying to take all 3 bases. Unless you're way behind, 2 bases will give you the win every time. When spawning, if you see a flag flashing, then spawn on that base and try to defend it. You'll notice that on your map when you get ready to spawn, if an enemy is on one of your bases that you have, it'll flash. So spawn there and try to stop them. Get in a squad and spawn on them if you see that they're trying to take a base, or let your teammates know if you're trying to take a base for them to spawn on you to help you out. Never leave a base with an empty tank. It's one of the worst things you could do because the tank is such a powerful tool. And stay and protect bases after you capture them. Don't just run off and be so worried about capturing the next base. Defend what you have and hold it. So the first map we're going to take a look at is Phu Bai Valley. You'll notice that the map is pretty wide open, so there's not a whole lot of choke points. You can go pretty much anywhere. There is a whole lot of armor on this map, so you want to be sure that your team has plenty of engineers with rocket launchers. You can bring mines and lay them out. Usually around B is always a good place because tanks will always roll up there. But really I prefer RPGs on this one just because the map is so open that there's a lot of different places that people can drive. Also you want to be sure if you're in a tank yourself, have an engineer as your secondary who can jump out and repair you while you're in a firefight. If you get in a situation like this where you've got a tank right beside you, just use any cover whatsoever to try to run around, try to get some shots, and you can definitely beat a tank like this. I would not recommend though jumping in the choppers. The choppers are made of paper. After you get B, there will be a chopper spawn on B, and there's also a chopper that spawns for the US when you first start out. But really use those to transport. Don't use them as a real fighting tool. Next map we'll take a look at is Cao Son Temple. You'll notice that this map is a lot more linear. I'll start out by showing you a place where you can get the Would You Kindly STFU. That speaker right there. If you're playing US, it's an easy achievement. There's a few different places you can get it, but that's just one location you can get it. This part of the map we were doing really good, so we decided to go ahead and push in because the map is so linear that it's hard for them to sneak around us. So we just decided, since we were doing good, we went on ahead and we pushed into C. Normally I would say all you need to hold is 2 bases, but if you've got momentum, go ahead and use it, especially on a linear map. Now because this map doesn't have a lot of armor, it has no tanks, the only thing it has on it is boats. I prefer to run assault or medic. Remember when you're playing Conquest, if you're a medic and it comes down to the wire, every time you save your teammate and they don't have to use up a spawn, that's a ticket. And some of these matches, if they come down and it's super close at the end, it may be a medic that won the game for whatever team that ends up winning because they were able to save a few extra tickets along the way. And on a map that's close quarters like this, you're going to have a lot of people dying, and you're going to pick up a lot of points by playing as a medic. Here I spawn on Mojo. He's in a boat, and I'm going to try to sneak around the backside. You'll see here that B is really wide open. There's a lot of different angles on both sides you can view B, so it's a really hot spot. These guys were giving us trouble down here by these rocks. I was able to sneak around to the side and pick them off, but you just got to use all parts of the map. If you have to swim a little bit in order to get into a position, if you're being locked down, you got to do that. Here I'm hiding up under the building, just trying to wait it out, trying to capture this base, and trying to give our team an opportunity to come back and win. So definitely on Cao Son Temple, you need to hold B. If you're having trouble reaching a particular spot and you can't get past the enemy, try using the boats to sneak around. Moving on to Vantage Point, again you'll see that this is a very linear map where it could be possible to totally lock down B and your base and keep the enemy from ever sneaking past you. So you have to really be careful on this one. This one doesn't start out with any armor on the map, but after both sides take either A or C, a tank will spawn in both locations. So each side, if you capture your home base, will have a tank. that means that the tanks are going to be shooting straight for B. What I like to do sometimes is be an engineer class and actually lay down mines around B. Mines are really good because there's not a whole lot of places for tanks to go, so you've locked them down as far as their pathways go, so they're going to be more likely to run over mines. This is called Vantage Point because B has a huge vantage point. They can look down at C and A, so this is a sniper's paradise right here. But if you move in and you're able to secure B, which again is the focus point, then all you got to do is hold this and you're going to have an easy victory. So just be sure to not run off, leave the tanks at your home base, and try to set up a line where the enemy can't get past you, and you're going to have a good time. The final map is Hill 137. Again, this is a map that's set up in a triangular formation. Usually B is the hot spot, but with this map more than others, I have seen teams be able to win by holding both A and C, because a lot of times the enemy just doesn't hold their home base. They move right into B. So if the enemy is intent on holding B, give it to them and try holding A and C. Split your team up and see how you do there. I do like playing as the recon class. I like going up this hill over here. You have a good clear view of B and any enemies coming into it. This map, there is no tanks. There's only boats. So unless you just really like playing as the engineer class and using their weapon, I would suggest going with something besides the engineer class, because you don't need your RPG unless you just like using it and you're really good with it. You don't need your landmines. So that's the way I would go with Hill 137. Again, you can use that cave to get from C to A really fast that I showed you in a previous video that had to do with Hill 137. And that wraps it up for this video for Conquest tips and tricks, and I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want more tips, tricks, hints, head on over to battlestrats.com. Thanks for watching.